What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my first YouTube video. This is a channel I've been meaning to start for a while now, but I just didn't know what direction I really wanted to take this. But here I am, and I'm excited to get this going. Basically, I wanted to create a channel that really reflects who I am and the things I love to do. I'm all about finding your passion and staying motivated and just doing what makes you happy. And for me, those things are food and cooking, or photography and videography, and most of all, it's those little outings when I need a reset. You know, things like going to the beach or just sitting at a cafe. I always find little bits of inspiration in those moments, and that's what really keeps me motivated and keeps me going. So to start 2021 off right, I thought it'd be nice to go through the gear that I'm using to film not just this channel, but my other social channels as well. So let's get into it. Here's what's in my bag. So first off, I'm shooting on the Sony A7III. This is a 35mm full frame camera. It also has a 24.2 megapixel sensor, and I really love this camera because of its video capability. I can shoot 4K at 24 frames a second and 30 frames a second, and I can also do 1080p up to 120 frames a second, which I love to use for that buttery smooth slow motion. And this is the camera that I used to film all my food videos that I did last year. And I love it, and I don't think I'm gonna need to upgrade anytime soon. So I have two lenses for this camera. The first lens I ever got was the Sony 35mm f1.8. This lens is a great portrait lens, and I love how wide it can shoot and the nice bokeh I can get with it. And I also love that it's wide enough to shoot landscape shots and some scenery. It's just a great overall lens, and I felt like a 35mm lens on a 35mm sensor was just a no-brainer and a great way to get started on a camera. And the second lens I have is the one I'm using right now. It's the 24-105 f4 Sony lens. I don't have a zoom lens, and this has a great range. The 24mm is wide enough to get those really tight shots and get a lot of info and a lot of detail within it. And I can also go all the way up to 105, which gives me a nice telephoto look. So I thought it was a really diverse lens I could use and add to my bag. And on both of my lenses, I use one of these Tiffin Black Pro Mist filters. This is the 1/4 size. Basically, all it does is it makes light a little bit softer. Instead of getting harsh source lights, it'll kind of soften the look of the light, and it kind of lets it bloom throughout the lens. And it also really softens up skin as well. So I really like to use this for portraits. It kind of just makes the image captured a little easier to work with, and I don't have to do so much post-processing and editing to it. To capture audio, I use the Rode Wireless Go microphone. This mic actually comes in two pieces. There's the microphone itself, and then there's the receiver. The receiver just sits on top of the camera and plugs directly in so that all the audio gets saved along with the video file. And then the microphone you can just place anywhere you want, and it does a pretty good job at capturing the audio without too much noise around it, and it's actually what I'm using right now for this video. One of my favorite toys that I have is my DJI Mavic Air. I got this drone mostly because of how small it is and how discreet it is. It's really easy to pack away, and I can take it with me anywhere. It also has great camera quality. It has a 12 megapixel sensor for photos, and for video it can do 4K at 30 frames a second or 1080p at 120 frames a second if I want some slow motion shots. Another piece I have is the DJI Ronin SC2. This is a gimbal. It's a Steadicam that I bought recently just so I can try to get smoother shots when I take video, and also to just up the level of my video quality. Right now, everything I do is handheld or on a tripod, and I want to get outside more, and I want to try to get more lifestyle type shots. So this is definitely going to be a big help for me, and I'm excited to see what I can get with it this year. So my favorite piece of all has to be the Canon F1. This is my film camera, and this came out in 1971 and was in production until 1981. It's made of pure metal, and it's super heavy, and I also have the 35mm f1.8 lens to go along with it. Well, I got this camera about a year ago, and what I love most about it is that I really need to take my time to set up the composition and think about what I'm trying to shoot before I actually shoot it. Because obviously film has a certain number of shots before you run out of the roll. I normally use Portra 400 in this, and what I love most about it is that the skin tones always come out nice, the colors are always great, and I never ever retouch any of the shots that come off of this. Whatever the film gets, that's what I show. And this is a great camera to use, and I'm excited to keep using it this year. And that's it, that's all the gear that I have. If you missed anything, I have it written out down below. And yeah, I'm excited to start shooting some content again, so just keep an eye out for it and let me know what you think and if you guys want to see something else.